Pelayo Alvarez, who is the Conservation Ranching Program Director for Autobahn, California. He previously worked for the Carbon Institute, and he should be familiar to many of you as he was also staff here at the California Rangeland Conservation Coalition. So to talk about what policies are needed to protect rangelands and keeping them safe and the Audubon strategy, here's Pelayo Alvarez. Hopefully.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Thanks for the invitation. It's good to be back, to see all those familiar names. Too bad I can see their faces, but maybe soon. I'm gonna introduce Audubon's Conservation Ranching Initiative very briefly, and then very briefly I'm gonna also talk about the policies that we are looking into and we're interested in moving forward and partnering with all of you. So Audubon Conservation Ranching Initiative, I'll give you a little bit of background. All populations of bird species are declining in the US. They have been declining for decades, but grassland bird species are showing the most severe declines. That's the reason why Audubon decided to start this Conservation Ranching Initiative. The purpose of the initiative is to create market-based incentives that reward ranchers for protecting and enhancing grassland bird habitat on rangelands for the reasons that all the speakers before mentioned. It should not be a surprise to most of you, given the long tradition that Audubon had working with farmers and ranchers, particularly here in California. Remember that Audubon was a founder of the California Rangeland Conservation Coalition back in the days. I remember Ed Pandolfino was very active in the steering committee and doing lots of great work on outreach and policy. Sorry, how do we do that? So we basically partnered with ranchers in helping them how to manage their land for better bird habitat. The ranchers, in return, they get a opportunity to attach a bird-friendly label to their product. This is for grass-fed, grass-finished beef for now, but it's important to know that Audubon certifies the land, not the product itself, but that provides a lot of opportunities for partnerships. And Audubon does not provide a market premium for the beef, but we connect ranchers with premium markets, give them more access to more sales and more, again, other markets as well. Our program is based on 4 pillars, pretty soon to become 3 pillars only. Environmental sustainability, animal health and welfare, forage and feeding, which will be folded into another pillar, and then habitat management. I'm not going to go through all the 4 pillars, but at least you know kind of buckets of the things that the ranchers can and cannot do to get our certification. The most important one, the one that defines our program, is the development of habitat management plans with the ranchers, following traditional classic conservation planning like NRCS and other organizations do. Our plans are focused on creating, protecting, and improving habitat for birds. We have a third-party verification that is done by Food Alliance that conducts regular audits. So to make sure that the ranchers are following the different protocols and making sure that the recommendations in the habitat management plan are being implemented as well. Monitoring obviously is an essential component of our program, and we are really thankful that we have our partner Point Blue here in California helping us actually conducting the monitoring for the program. Bird monitoring is the most important part, but thanks to a grant from the Wildlife Conservation Board, we're able to follow the range and protocols that Point Blue implements, and also monitor for soils and vegetation, which is fantastic.
Pelayo, really quick, can you put it into the screen show so we can see a bigger slide?
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you. And you can turn your video on if you want while you're presenting.
Okay, I don't want to, okay. All righty. Can you see me now?
Yes, perfect, thank you.
All right, so in the US, the program is present in 15 states. We have 69 ranches fully certified, covering about 2.1 million acres. And that's a lot of has to do with a recent partnership that we signed with Panorama Meats that really increased the number of ranches that we were able to certify. Okay, now I cannot switch the slides. There you go. So that's for the program. So as far as policies, last year we Audubon introduced SB 322, which would create the Conservation Incentives Program. Initially, we're thinking that was going to be housed at the Department of Conservation. Audubon is going to reintroduce the bill, but I think the program may be housed in with the Wildlife Conservation Board. We'll have an opportunity if the program moves forward to shape what the program funds. So we'll be reaching out to you guys to figure out how to shape a program that actually is valuable to the ranching community. The other program that we're looking at is the land repurposing program. I know Jack is going to talk about it, so I'm not going into details. We're also following and providing comments to the National Working Lands Climate Strategy, 30 by 30, and a few others like CDFA's Conservation Planning Program. So obviously we're interested in keeping ranchers ranching. We're interested in making connections with markets and consumers. As a general kind of focus is how can we increase access to grazing land? How can we increase opportunities for more ranchers to access more grazing land for field load reductions, invasive species control, and all the issues that were mentioned before. So again, we'd like to be partners in moving policies forward that will allow ranchers to keep ranching. So if there are other ideas, I'd be happy to hear them. And that's our website. If you need more information, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Pelayo? Pelayo, what are the costs involved for a rancher to get involved with the program?
So right now, for individual ranchers, there is no cost. Audubon covers all the costs of full certification. When we establish partnerships with companies like Panorama, we like to see that there's a contribution and they help us cover at least some of the costs of certifying large numbers of ranchers at once.
Great. And in terms of the legislation, the proposed legislation, any challenges that you think you're facing on getting that through? And if so, how can we help get you some support?
Well, I guess we'll be looking for letters of support. I think the more we show that this is going to benefit, both the conservation side of things and the ranching side of things. In other words, showing a big partnership. I think it's important. Again, just making sure that both sides of the ranching understand that this is good for conservation and for ranchers as well. So we'll be reaching out to some of you for support for this legislation.
Okay, we do have a few questions here. Do you certify the land in the case of a different landowner than the cattle operator?
Yes, so which is interesting because here in California, particularly for grass-fed, grass-finished ranchers, they need access to leased land, and so we do certify all the land that they graze, so all their leases in addition to their home ranch as well, which is it's challenging.
There's a premium dollar for the beef, but does that premium price translate to the rancher who is implementing the habitat management plan and growing the beef on this ground?
There is no premium. So Autobahn does not guarantee a premium. That has to be negotiated between the rancher and the retailer or direct consumers. So that, what was the question? There's no, I'm trying to read.
In essence, are you finding that the increased price back to that producer is offsetting the costs?
Uh, we don't know that. We don't know that. I mean, and that's be a good question to answer. Is the total cost of certification? Again, and so we don't know the cost of certification yet, and because the program is so young in California, so new, we don't have the data in terms of whether ranchers are getting premiums. What we do know is that they're getting an increase in sales. They're seeing an increase in sales for the ranchers who are certified here.
Okay. And then there's been a request that if you can bump back a slide.
Yes, if I can figure it out. How to do it. Actually, yeah, that one.
No, I think the one with the information.
The
The next one after this.
This one?
There we go. And
actually,
then,
yeah,
go ahead. There's another question, but go ahead. And
Oh, I was gonna, because I think I flipped so this is the map of HCR certified and enrolled ranches in California. I think I skipped it as I was flipping through the slides.
And then what feedback are you getting from participating ranchers on the marketing benefits of the certification?
So again, we don't have enough data. We just certified, a few months ago, the first ranchers in California. So we don't have enough data yet. So we were looking to see, what does it do? How does the label help? A lot of the ranchers are, for instance, nationally, the whole program, only half of the ranchers who are certified are actually using the label. They're more interested in the technical assistance, the connection with funding, the ability to partner with Audubon, more so than they're interested in the actual price premium, which is interesting and something we knew, right? A lot of the issues are it's not just funding for the ranches, is the technical assistance that it's lacking.
Has the Audubon effort tied in with similar efforts in Mexico and South America, such as the Alianza de Pastorales and the Southern Cone?
Great question. Not yet, but because Audubon has a strong presence in South America, trying to cover the entire Pacific Flyway, we are thinking about, okay, how can this program be not replicated, but are there elements of this program that could be used in other parts of the continent. However, caution, because the issues in other countries are different. So again, I don't want to think that we can replicate this program, but maybe some elements of it can be utilized in other parts of the continent.
Do you have an acreage goal that you're trying to achieve through your program?
We do not in California. What's happening here in California is that we have more ranchers interested that we can get certified. So we're trying to build our capacity internally and through partnering with other organizations to get more ranchers certified. So right now, again, more demand for the program that we can serve. So it's a good problem to have, again, trying to build our capacity to get more ranchers certified, and then broaden it to others, like can we certify cow-calf operators? So can we certify sheep ranchers? Again, because we certify the land, I think that opens opportunities to broaden this program so it's available to folks other than grass-fed, grass-finished.
You're right. That's a great problem to have. And for folks wanting to get more information or participate in the program, those links are found in the chat, so they can take a look at those and contact you, I assume, Pelayo?
Yep, that would be great.
Any last questions for Pelayo before we move to the next panelist? Great. Well, thank you, sir. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Welcome home, in a sense.
Yep, feels good.